Hey, good evening, guys. It is almost 8 p.m. on Monday, March 25th, 2019. And just a brief video here on what's probably the biggest event of the week in terms of risk event and news in the Forex market, and that is the New Zealand dollar rate decision, which will be coming out um, tomorrow, or Wednesday, depending where you are in the world. I'm in the New York time zone. It comes out 9 p.m. tomorrow night. But if you're obviously in Europe or Asia, that will be, or in New Zealand, obviously that'll be on Wednesday. So, what are we expecting? This has potential to be a really good event for trading, um, especially if what some of the analysts are saying actually do end up happening. So, from the headline, which is usually the case, they're not expecting to change the rate, expect to keep it at 1.75%, the OCR, official cash rate. So, as usual, we turn to the statement, which comes out at the same time, and that's where traders in the market will be looking to glean whatever they can out of the statement. So, what are they expecting? If we go over and just kind of look, so basically, overall, the global economy, has slowed down for sure. The U.S. dollar has been very because the U.S. economy is traditionally is the most the strongest and remains that way. New Zealand's economy has been slowing too, and it's at its lowest rate GDP since 2013. Their inflation number stays right in the middle of their target at about 2%, between 1 and 3%, and their unemployment rate is still really good, 4.3%. So naturally, um, they're probably not going to change rates. So the question becomes this is um, Deutsche Bank is actually thinking that they're going to have more of a dovish tilt because their feeling is that the New Zealand dollar is too high. So and that they are expecting to see the RBNZ talk the New Zealand dollar down a little bit and see it sell off. So if that ends up being what they do, then expect a pretty big fall in the New Zealand dollar because it has been pushing really, really high and it's been very resilient despite kind of lackluster to neutral type of news and global economy slowing. So as you can see here, Deutsche Bank still believes the RBNZ could tilt dovish at March's meeting due to concerns over the Aussie Kiwi exchange rate and there still being no wage growth, unlike other Anglo countries. And that's their statement. NZD looks just too high. It's the most expensive in the G10 across the board. So, if that turns out to be the case, then we will see the Kiwi fall under pressure, and it could be a nice trading opportunity. So we're going to have to remain. That will remain to be seen what happens with that. And so again, that comes out tomorrow, and I think that's pretty much the main thrust of this here. Yeah. So we'll skip this. So how does it look from a chart standpoint? So we'll take a couple of look. And again, guys, this is really early, so we're still more than 24 hours away from this news. So I'm not expecting necessarily any of this to hold up the way this is showing. But as an early look, this is the Kiwi Canadian on the, well, this happens to be the 2-hour chart. And I had this Elliott wave pattern I had drawn in here before. And so to me, this looks like this pattern wants to end pretty soon. Now, again, we're still 24 hours away. So this is a 2-hour candle. So we're going to have, 12 more of these. So what's this going to do? I don't know. So, let me take this off so I can go to the higher time frame without seeing all those numbers all scrunched, and this is also all scrunched, so we'll reset the chart. So here's the daily chart, and let's go to the weekly. So on the weekly, we're approaching some key resistance here. On the daily chart, there's nothing really clear here. To me, this looks like possibly a 1, 2, an ABC for 2, and now we're in a wave 3 going up. And if that's the case, then the Kiwi is going to keep strengthening. And so this is the 5-hour chart. If I kind of see this kind of just meandering kind of sideways down leading into the news tomorrow, then I actually probably look for this to be bullish and the Kiwi to appreciate. So I want to look at the Euro Kiwi. So here's the Euro Kiwi, and this is the daily chart. I can see we've been kind of trending through this, down through this channel right here, and we're kind of sitting at it again. So, and it's a little bit hard to draw this line. So, but we've basically been moving inside with all these overlapping waves here. And so it'll be interesting to see. At this point, I don't see any real clear pattern. But here we are on the 6-hour chart of the Euro Kiwi, and this is potentially a wave 5 that we're in right now. A 1, 2. Let's see, let me draw this out for you. All right, something like this. And so let me just run out a little bit here. So if this is the case, guys, if this ends this trend around the time of the news, which you could see the euro turn high, even though the euro is pretty bearish right now. So I'm not real thrilled with this, being a long-term trade, because the euro is under so much pressure right now, being very bearish. But that's a potential opportunity. So that would mean it would go up, which means the Kiwi would weaken. So maybe that's a little bit of a conflict with the Euro Canadian. Let's look at the Euro Kiwi yen really quick. So here's the daily chart of the Kiwi yen. This would be another good one to take, especially short, if the news on the Kiwi is bearish. Because you see we had this really strong impulsive move down. Now we've just been kind of moving sideways to up, just these kind of overlapping waves. This looks really corrective to me, to be honest with you. And so if we see a weakening of the Kiwi, and that at the same time could lead to money flowing into the Japanese yen as kind of a safe haven, then the Kiwi yen, if this comes out to be pretty dovish, I think the Kiwi yen would be a great selling opportunity, probably more so than the other one. And if the news is, and also at the same time, if the news is negative, then taking the Euro Kiwi long could also be a nice trade too. On the other hand, if it's positive, then really you probably could pick anything depending on what the patterns end up looking like, other than the Kiwi yen. I probably wouldn't take the Kiwi yen. I probably would actually look at maybe trading Aussie Kiwi. You see the Aussie Kiwi has been just continuing to go down, 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 and it's still going down. So if the Kiwi news is positive, I would look to continue to sell the Aussie Kiwi. So I think that's probably the best one. And maybe maybe buy the Kiwi Canadian. But I think the Aussie Kiwi is probably the best if this decides to be positive for the New Zealand dollar, because of this just continual bearish push down on the Aussie Kiwi that's been going on for so long. So, and if you look at what I've showed you guys in a previous video, if you look at the Aussie Kiwi, I mean, look at this. 90, this is on my FX book, but it's pretty much, you're going to see this no matter where you find this data. 96% of the retail traders are still long the Aussie Kiwi, so only 4% are short. As long as this persists with all these people, this 96%, thinking that they're clever and they're going to try to pick a bottom on the Aussie Kiwi, then this is showing me that you have to continue to be short this pair. So again, guys, I think that if the news is positive for the Kiwi, I probably look to sell the Aussie Kiwi. If it's negative, then I would look to either sell the Kiwi dollar and or buy the Euro Kiwi. So because I'm not sure exactly what they're going to say and how these patterns are going to look, I'm going to look at these patterns before the news comes out tomorrow night, and I'll make a decision about whether I want to get in heading into the news or not. But if it's not clear, I probably will wait and let the news come out and check out what the statement says. And I think that'll be plenty of time to get in, because there'll probably be some volatility initially, and you'll see the price chop around while everybody kind of takes in the news and kind of decides what they want to do. So that's at this point, that's what I'm planning. So is to trade out of it and see if there's a really strong statement either way about them being bullish or bearish going forward. And I think if they're bearish, there will be a better opportunity than if they're bullish, because the currency has been appreciating so much and probably is overvalued, that even if it does go up, I'm not so sure I'd want to jump on that, but we'll see. But if it has a dovish tilt to it, I will be looking to sell it. So anyways, guys, so that's it. Just wanted to give you that preview ahead of the news. I'm trying to be more proactive in getting these out before the actual event. So here you are. You got 25 hours to look at it yourself and make your own decision. And like I always say, guys, this is not trading advice. I'm not telling you to take a trade or not take a trade. It's just my analysis based on the fundamentals and based on the patterns that I see on the charts. And that's how I trade. And you make your own decisions, do your own analysis, but just be aware of what's going on. Be aware of this type of news, and that this is what's driving those price moves. And to not be afraid of the risk events, and you certainly can profit for them. You just have to know how to analyze what comes out and kind of know how the market feels going into it. So, and the tilt on the Kiwi right now is that it's probably overvalued. So like I said, I think a negative dovish tilt on the news on their statement when it comes out is probably a better opportunity than if they're positive. So anyways, guys, so that's it. I'll leave it there. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, or just comment in general. Like the video, share it, like the channel if you haven't already. Go up and click the subscribe button and click the little bell icon so you get notified as soon as I post a new video. So appreciate it, guys. Have a great night, and I'll try to do a follow-up once the news comes out about how things actually shook out. All right, guys, have a good night, and I will talk to everyone soon. Thanks.